Social media platforms, from Instagram Reels to TikTok scrolls, are built around one obsession, that is, holding your gaze anyhow. The second you stop scrolling, their revenue plummets. Every push notification, every recommended clip, every trend is surgically designed to answer one question: what will make you scroll just a little longer? Facebook's own internal studies uncovered a brutal truth about human nature, but instead of changing course, they doubled down. In this episode of Day2 Psych, we unpack layer by layer with real life examples how your attention is being hijacked using your emotions as the weapon. Let's jump right in. Reva is a teenager. She opens Instagram first thing in the morning and sees a school friend's birthday post with perfect backdrop, golden lighting, food style like a magazine shoot. But what stings isn't the image. It's the caption, subtly flaunting a lifestyle she wasn't a part of. Reva's morning is now ruined. She shuts her phone feeling completely unvalued. Later, after studying, she checks her Instagram again, and this time another post caught her eye, which is a video from the same party captioned, "This party sucked." Now Reva's curious. She zooms in. She reads the comments. She finds others who felt the same. She compares both posts. She scrolls, digs deeper while her ego dances in satisfaction. Now she hears her mom calling her for breakfast. The table is laid, warm, healthy, homemade food made with love, especially for her, but Reva sulks. She's distracted, she's distant, her body's at the table, but her mind is still scrolling that party. She can't wait to retreat, shut her door, and scroll again. This spiral that Reva has got herself in, it is a potent loop of negativity bias. Negativity captures her attention, the platform rewards it, she's exposed to that negativity more and more, and now she will be served more negative content. Neuroscience shows that negative information triggers stronger brain responses like pupil dilation, increased heart rate, and heightened activity in the amygdala, our brain's threat detection center. So basically, social media's outrage engine thrives on our fury, and now when your instinct and trigger meets profit-driven algorithms, it becomes catastrophic. Research from Archive shows that anger-laden fake news spreads faster on both Twitter, now X, and Weibo. A worryingly small increase in anger leads to significantly more shares. In India, during election cycles, a specific party's politicians used polarizing hashtags far more aggressively than other parties, triggering national anger and engagement. So while an IITN and environmental activist fasting to cleanse the Ganga dies unknown, a politician flamboyantly spreading genocide rhetoric commands viral attention. Similarly, all the other systemic issues like poverty, unemployment, health crisis, education, they all stagnated when these networks stroked sectarian divides. When we are angry, our attention collapses, and cognitive science confirms it. Rage narrows our focus and it hijacks our thinking. Facebook's own data scientists admitted to it. The platform's business model and that of social media at large fuels division and polarization. The only real alternative of this model is an anti-growth model where the company would stop fueling hate and polarization to avoid global harm. But reportedly, when Zuckerberg saw the internal report showing this, he told his team to never bring him such findings again. So these platforms know exactly what they're doing, but they won't change because they want engagement. Because engagement brings in more money. And the damage that this loop does? It tears at the very fabric of a society itself. Well, it's none of their business, apparently. So we often say the algorithm shows you only what you want to see. That is, whatever we click on, like, watch, or spend time on. We start seeing similar stuff more often, right? But that's the incomplete truth, actually. The reality is that the algorithm also shows you what you didn't ask for but are likely to react to. For example, hate speech is a complete no-no for you. You have never voluntarily searched for it, sure, but you lingered just a little longer on that political rant. You paused on a news channel's so-called debate clip. You opened the comments under a controversial reel, not because you liked it, but because your brain was drawn to it. And that's all it takes. Now you're inside a filter bubble, a personalized loop where the algorithm keeps feeding you similar content, reinforcing your beliefs and narrowing your worldview. Over time, you're not just seeing what you agree with, but you're surrounded by it, angrier and more convinced than ever before. So, social media today is not just reflecting your choices, but it's also predicting your triggers. Ask yourself this. There are two videos. One shows a puppy tumbling into a pile of flowers, and the other shows a violent road rage incident. Which one do you think the algorithm pushes harder? Now comes a tougher question. Which one are you more likely to pause on? See, we don't have to cancel social media because let's be honest, that's hardly an option today, but we can surely refuse to be an unwitting fuel. We can choose depth over fury, we can choose authenticity over outrage. We can choose what we are sharing. We can remove frictionless scrolling by opting out of algorithm push, and in that choice, that particular choice, that moment, we reclaim both our humanity and our power. If you found this video informative, then do like it, share it, and subscribe to Tale to Psych for more psychology backed content that actually makes a difference. See you soon.